That helps us heal. And it seems like, well, I'm not in the mood. I have my plate full with all these things to worry about. And it's true, but it's not true on an energetic level. You see, that's the paradox, is that when you begin to even give to others in your own, and I don't mean financially, I just mean helping the little old lady across the street or visiting somebody who's lonely, whatever, just being able to transform that energy, it comes back to you too. You see, but the linear mind doesn't understand that. The linear mind says, I can't even pay my bills today. How can you expect me to do this? That's what the linear mind says, and I understand that. But the solution to it isn't just from the linear mind. It's from intuition, and it's about shifting emotional energy. And this is something your gut will get. This is something your soul will get. This is something the mind will get. And so that's why people get a little bit confused, because they're only dealing with life from their linear analytic mind, just seeing the material world aspects.
Well, absolutely, and that kind of, where you were talking a little bit earlier about, people saying, well, I just don't have any money, that goes along with your debt depression, which is a new term that has arisen from the financial crises, and it also refers to, this is according to some of the information from you, increased depression from being in debt.
Right.
But when we look at that, and I want to talk about the debt here thing, but when we talk about not being able to pay our bills, being kind to somebody or helping the little old lady across the street, whatever the case may be, it doesn't help you to pay your bills, but it does help you to get a different perspective so that you're not always feeding that source of lack, or I can't do this, or I don't have this. And it really, to let go of that is a huge burden that people don't even realize they're carrying around. They're carrying around this, emotional garbage and junk, and it really does weigh you down. It really, really does weigh you down.
It does, but I disagree with you a little bit. I think in a roundabout way it does help you pay your bills, because it shifts the energy of the situation. If you just stay in fear, and you say, I can't pay my bills, I can't do anything but think about not paying my bills because I'm so scared, then that freezes the situation energetically and emotionally. But if you're able to do contrary action, the unexpected, the extraordinary, even if you don't feel like it doesn't matter, you don't have to feel like it, just do it. And then you can feel the energy shift, and it unlocks you from that fearful paradigm. So
Sure.
I think it really does help to unlock that paradigm so that other options can come in. Why do job offers come in? Why do you suddenly look in the newspaper and you find something that looks good? What energy is being freed up with that? I think it's directly related to how you deal with fear and trying to unloosen that grasp by doing the opposite of it.
And that's, pardon me, and that's really a very good point. And I didn't really complete my whole thought there, and I apologize for that, because the one thing that I can tell you is by letting go of those particular feelings or grips of paralysis that people might have for not being able to pay their bills and being very, very focused on it, that when you step outside of that realm of being in that space of that's your whole world, of the inability to pay your bills and do something different, it really does help with the creative flow, if you will, the change, the shift. And you're right, and you just never know when that good thing is going to come forward. And we talked a little bit about that while we were on break, about the little mini miracles. I think they happen every day, many, many times a day. We just have kind of lost sight of what those are.
They do, but I made this argument to a patient of mine who's really going through a lot of financial stress at work, and she goes, well, what you're talking about is spiritual. What good is it going to do me? Now, that's what she said, but I understand that. But what I'm saying to everyone, and this is the basis of the book, it may not seem to the linear mind it's going to do anything for you, but if you can practice some of these principles anyways, you're going to see things shift. And you see, it's not logical. That's the thing. Your linear mind won't be satisfied with what I'm telling you. But if you begin to practice some of these things and you suddenly go, oh my God, suddenly I got this job, or suddenly I met this person, you're going to wonder why, and you're going to think it's just chance. And it isn't chance. The basis of emotional freedom is saying we can work with energy in ways to shift it. If we get locked in fear, if we're addicted to it, and that's all we see, then our world becomes fear. If all we see is tragedy, we become the tragedy. If we see hope, then we become that hope too. And it's not Pollyannish. And maybe you don't even feel like doing some of the things I say if you're addicted to fear. It doesn't matter. If you just do them and you see the shift, then you'll be more motivated. Yes, the thing with the suggestions I'm making in emotional freedom is that you're going to see concrete changes in your life quickly. All right, and this is what you want. And so just open up a little bit, try some of these things, even if you're locked in fear, and then see the results. I'm asking people to act in an extraordinary way and not just do the same old as everyone has done with fear. You might say easy to say. Yes, it is easy to say, and it may be harder to do, but it is so worth it, and it will expand your own spiritual life and your own material life and help everybody else. In the meantime, every time you're in that line, like you said, there's the small miracles, and you're not pushing, and you're not angry, and you're not snitty, and you let somebody go in front of you, you're helping me. That resonates out to me and all the rest of us. And we're all in this together now. From an intuitive standpoint, we are all connected. There's no such thing as a stranger. Somebody might be living, 10,000 miles away. We are still connected to them. And the smallest baby steps we take in our individual life, in that line in the supermarket, it's like in a pool. You have the ripples out to the people on the other side of the pool. And this is what we want. We want to help each other in this way. And you may never know somebody's name, but you can help them through your own shift in how you deal with negative emotions. We can help one another with this and lift each other up.
And just as a little continuation there on that lady that I ran into last week at the grocery store, and even though I don't know her name, and I don't know that I'll ever see her again, I do know that from our short conversation and our exchange of energy that day, that I know that she shifted out of where she was at in her day. However she might have looked at it or not looked at it, did become better for her, just from her not being in that state of emotional turmoil.
Bondage.
Absolutely. And so, even though you don't know these people, it's exactly what you said. It is a ripple effect. So what she may do later in the day, instead of carrying that high negative energy around with her, she may show somebody else an act of kindness, or she may be gentler spoken with her family members that day. You just don't know the positive results, but you do know that the results are going to be more positive than had she have left there in the same state and even worse than when she arrived. So it's a good thing.
That is absolutely true, but I also want everyone to know that you benefit too.
Sure. Oh, I was feeling good.
Yeah, if you want to shift your own energy, you do something for somebody else, and you feel the difference in yourself. As I selfishly, when I'm really down or I'm stuck in fear and I'm swirling, I get out there and do these things selfishly to make myself feel better, in addition to helping the other person. This isn't just about the other person. It's about shifting your own energy and taking charge of that even when you're in the grips of fear. So the thing about emotional freedom is about taking contrary action. It's about not doing the ordinary, and even if your mind says, I hate this, I'm not going to do it anyways to feel the shift. And once you feel the shift, then you'll want to do it again. Then you'll go, okay, the next time, I know this works, and this will make me feel better right away. And we need quick fixes now to feel emotionally better at this point.
Oh, yes. It's not going to get
no
easier.
more time for 10 years of psychoanalysis on the couch.
No.
So the strategies in the book, a lot of them are quick fixes. And I need quick fixes in my life, because when I swirl, and I do, everybody does, you always get thrown off. You need to bring yourself back together quickly. And there's a 3-minute meditation that I suggest in the book that I use all the time in between patients, or if I'm thrown off, let's say on my book tour and I'm traveling in airports, which really are difficult places for me. I get very thrown off in airports. I go into the bathroom, I do the 3-minute meditation where I close my eyes, I breathe, I center myself, I focus on my heart or something very positive, something loving, and I breathe and I center and I bring all my energy back into my body instead of having it swirl in a million different places outside of me. And then I go back out into the situation more centered. And so everybody can practice this. And it's not more than 3 minutes. This is the type of meditation I do not recommend to my patients that they do anymore, or anybody that they do any more than 3 minutes. It's very time limited. But you need to do it whenever you need it. And I was interviewed recently by Health Magazine, and they said, what health practice can you just not live without? And this would be it, the 3-minute meditation. If I didn't have this ability to go in and recenter myself with this meditation, I could only imagine how frenetic my life would be.
I absolutely love it. I'm a huge, huge advocate of that practice, and I talk to people about that all the time. And when I get like that, that's what I do, is the breathing and the centering, and it can be done in just seconds to bring yourself back into focus, and within a couple of minutes, you can your whole perspective shifts and changes, and it just is a wonderful, wonderful tool. It's free, it's free, and it's a lifelong gift. I love it.
And you feel so empowered when you do it. It's really, you feel, talk about self-esteem. I have a chapter on self-esteem in the book. This brings you self-esteem. When you know you can bring yourself back together, you're around a table of energy, emotional vampires, and you're bringing yourself together and they're not getting to you. I mean, wow, how great is that?
It's totally awesome. I love it. Dr. Judith, unfortunately, we're almost out of time here, and I want to have you give everyone your website, how to get a hold of your book.
Is on Amazon. It's on my website, drjudithorloff.com, ORLOFF.com. And I have all kinds of free articles and videos on my website, because I wanted it all to be free for everybody. So just videos on emotional vampires, videos on are you dealing with a narcissistic personality, which is a type of emotional vampire, the key to not overeating, the energetic causes. So all these videos are on the website, so I'd like people to use it as a resource.